I started my personal concierge business in 2004 at the age of 23, and it was amazing. I loved it. I had no fear. I had no real obligations, but I also didn't know what I didn't know. And so in today's video, I am going to share with you 5 things that I wish I had done differently at the start. I think it's always a good process to reflect on your business, what's going well, what you could perhaps improve. But I also love learning from others and trying to avoid some of the hurdles and pitfalls that others have gone through. So on that note, I wanted to share with you 5 things that I wish I had done differently when I started my personal concierge business, which would have perhaps made a few things a bit smoother for me. So number 1 is to learn to write and stick to a budget. And I'm going to put my hand up right now and say I'm still not good at this. It is not something I have learnt. I'm not great at it. For those of you who don't know, my husband Tim is also in the business with me. He joined me after I'd been operating for about 7 years, and he's much better at this stuff than me. So to be honest, a lot of that is just handed to him. But when Tim walked into the business, I had got myself into rather a pickle with lots of invoices that were behind in payment. I was juggling client cash flow, money coming in, money going out, and it was a real disaster. And Tim came in 2 weeks before our first baby was born, so not great timing either. But it took him a while. He got it all sorted out, and now, Tim is really great at managing all the finances and things. But I still kind of wish that I had taken the time and effort, especially when things were a bit quieter at the start, to learn how to budget, to cash flow forecast, all those types of things. So if you ever have a chance to teach yourself these things or do a training course on them or get some help, I really recommend it. The other thing I wish I had done right from the start is focused on getting regular bookings. Now, this is what we do now, and it is really how our business has grown, and we've been able to be pretty consistent in the income that we are earning. And so what I mean by regular bookings are people booking in a weekly grocery shop, a weekly dry cleaning pickup. Maybe it's a monthly audit of the house. There's all different things that you can do. Now, a lot of people look at offering a membership or a subscription service for that regular cash flow, and I think that's amazing. That has just never been something that we've quite been able to nail and lock in with our clients. Perhaps when you're starting out in a new business, you can focus on the membership and subscription model and potentially have more success. But with the clients that we work with, we offer hourly packages that people can use within a 12-month period. So that can make it a bit challenging, but what has changed that is that we have our regular bookings. We know that we have X number of hours automatically booked in every week with certain clients. Then we still take on a lot of ad hoc clients, and we also have our regulars who add more things to our list at different times. So we always have a bit of an ebb and flow, but we have consistent regular bookings every week or fortnight or month, and that has really helped us. So I do recommend focusing on regular bookings or regular income right from the start of your business. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I'm often talking about your ideal client. And this is one thing that I really wish I'd focused on more at the start of my business. I'm pretty sure I'd never even heard of an ideal client when I started my business. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about imagining, visualizing, picturing, and then writing about who you would love to work with. One person, create an imaginary character that is named, they have a background story, they have a family. Picture that person, the ideal person that you would like to work with every day, every week. And then in all your marketing, your communications, website, social media, everything, you are communicating to that person. Now, I know that you're feeling a little bit concerned by this, but it doesn't mean that you can only accept those clients. It doesn't mean that you have to say no to anyone that doesn't fit that bill. Although Feel free to say no to clients that you have the gut feel are not going to be a great fit. But what it does is that it ensures that you're attracting more of the people that you want to work with in your business. And it also makes all those marketing and communication things so much easier, because if you're thinking about what to post on social media or how to word a newsletter, you just imagine that ideal client and picture communicating with them. You don't need to worry about if you're, talking to a divorced man, if this makes sense, or if you're talking to a CEO, does this make sense? Or if you're talking to a nurse, does this make sense? Whichever one of those, or whatever ideal client you pick, that is who you are talking to. And let me tell you, it doesn't eliminate all those others. You don't need to worry that you're going to put off other people. What is actually happening is your communication is so super clear that people feel comfortable and confident to come and use your services. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already, identify who your ideal client is, narrow it right down, create what is called a client avatar that describes who that person is. Even stick it up on your wall and know that you are talking to that person. And I will say that attracting those clients will become easier and easier. Another thing I wish I'd done more of is testing what works. So what I mean by that is testing what social media posts get the most traction, and looking at the analytics. What newsletters get the most traction? What are people replying to? What links are people clicking onto? If you send out a brochure or an email, are people responding to that, or responding to that in the way that you're expecting? Maybe you need to try some different wording. Is it worth following up with clients 3 times or 10 times? Do you find that people are hesitating a lot longer and therefore keeping in contact with them is a good thing? Or is it annoying them and pestering them? There's just so many areas in your business that you can test what works. Maybe pick 1 or 2 things that are of interest to you now or would have the biggest impact on your business. For example, I do still encourage email newsletters, and so you might want to test what happens if I send out a weekly newsletter to a certain group on my mailing list. Do I get a better response? What if I send out one every day? Or what if I sent out one monthly? Analyze that and work out what frequency of delivery people seem to be responding to more. So there's a lot that you can do, but I just kind of winged a lot of it and guessed what I thought my clients would like without actually testing and seeing it, getting the statistics, getting the data on what was actually working. I'm still not fantastic at this, but it is certainly something that I try to do, and I try to take more time to look at those types of things. So consider testing more in different areas of your business to find out what's actually working. And the final thing on this list of what I wish I'd done differently was to give myself a break. I was in the habit for a long time of thinking that I had to do certain things to be a real business. I had to focus on growth. I had to have an office. I had to have a car with stickers all over it. I had to have expensive business cards. I had to wear this and go to this. But there's no rule. The thing that I've learned in business, and I think it's becoming easier and easier as we have more side hustles happening and a lot of different things going in the world. So the whole point of running your own business is to create the business that you want. And it could be a type of business that's never been seen before. You don't have to think that to be a real business, you have to have a huge number of clients, you have to be earning a certain amount of money, you have to have all these staff and a team everywhere. If that's not what you want to do, you can keep it small for your own business. You might decide to run everything virtually. You might decide to only offer grocery shopping services. You might decide to only work on a Sunday or to only work after school hours. Who knows? You might decide something completely different. But don't fall into the trap that I did for so long of worrying about what I should be doing, and start thinking about what I want to create. Be that business that you want to be a part of, that you get excited to wake up to every morning. Don't create yourself another job, but being the boss of a business and having to do all of the stuff, if that's not what you enjoy, create that business that you want, and perhaps you'll inspire others to do the same thing. So they're my 5 things that I wish I'd done differently when I started. To be honest, it's probably a lot more that I can add to that list, but they're the 5 main things that I wanted to share with you in the hope that maybe you can avoid some of the hurdles and trials that I put myself through when I started my business. So I'd love for you to comment below. Do any of these 5 resonate with you? Have you thought, oh my goodness, yes, I do exactly the same thing? Is there something else that you're having trouble with and would perhaps like some advice and support? Please comment below. And please don't forget to subscribe, because I am putting out regular videos and I'd love you to be notified as soon as my next video comes out. And if you pop a question below, I might even create a video answering your very question.